Good evening out there. How you guys doing? This Mike Melton back with From Pain to Purpose podcast. We back again, episode 34. And I have a very, very special brother on here tonight. I saw this brother out speaking somewhere, and as soon as I heard the brother talking, I said, I gotta get this brother on the podcast. This is my brother named Andy. How you doing, Andy? What's going on with
I'm
you,
doing
brother?
good. I'm doing good, my brother. I'm doing good. No, I'm blessed. I just never had it so good, man. Never had it so good in my life.
Yeah, man. Hold on, let me try to get it on that thing. Um, so Andy, man, we about to get started. First, I'm gonna start off by first talking about this real quick before we get
No,
going.
you go ahead. Go ahead.
From Pain to Purpose, the book released September 14th, 2026. I know many people seen the cold case file story. I know many people seen the 911 did the killer call story. I know people heard the rumors, they heard what they thought went on, but now you're going to hear my side of the story. From Pain to Purpose, the book is going to drop September 14th, 2026. You will get to hear about everything, how the investigation went, who was with me, who turned against me, the women that was in my life, all the escaping I did, everything that went on. You will have this in this book. As you guys know, I'm a very transparent person. So on September 14th, 2026, when this book dropped, make sure you can either get it from me, an autographed copy from me, and I'll probably have a t-shirt to go with it, or you'll be able to purchase on Amazon. So From Pain to Purpose, the book drops September 14th, 2026, man. So be on the lookout for that. Brother Andy, what's up, brother Andy? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Like I said, man, I'm blessed. I'm grateful. I never had it so good in my life. And it's all because of Alcoholics Anonymous and the God in my life.
Indeed,
You know,
man.
it wouldn't have been possible. And God comes before anybody, even comes before me,
Mm,
comes for anybody. There is
mm,
nothing in this world, nothing of this world, not a
mm-hmm.
human being on this world will ever come before me, between me and my God and Alcoholics Anonymous.
All right, start us from the beginning. What happened, how it was, and how it is now, brother.
Well, first of all, like I said, my name is Andy. I am an alcoholic and I am an addict. Definitely an alcoholic. You know, and this is new to me. So it's not, I know it's like I'm going to speak like if it's a regular meeting, but like, like when I was born, I was, well, first of all, my sobriety date is July 13th, 2024. I just
Mm.
celebrated 2 years on the 13th on Monday.
All
I
praise to
just
the
spoke
Most
at
High.
my home group on Monday for
Mm-hmm.
my 2 years
Mm-hmm.
anniversary. I also got three more speaking home groups that I got to do for my anniversary
Mm.
in these 2 weeks. So I got the 18th to Saturday, I got the 21st on Tuesday, and I got the 24th on Friday, which is Living Grin, Octus, and Young Men's of AA, so men's group. Which tonight also I almost made it down there to go see them, but um, I'm glad I'm here. How it was for me, man. Like let me tell you, Mike, man. Like I was first of all born 1968. I was born down the way. I was born in the hood. There's not one human being in my family that were honest. Not one
Mm.
honest human being in my family. Everybody was from Fourth and Diamond, Philadelphia. One of the biggest Latino criminals, as far as, hustling, the salesperson, I don't even know how, like I said, I don't know how flexible I can be, but I know that my
Go ahead.
my
Go ahead.
family was drug dealers. There was all drug dealers, pimps, thieves, car, everything. There was just about anything that you can imagine. But I when I was born, I grew up, I was never around them. They didn't never like me for some reason.
Mm.
I was the most unlikable kid in that family. They loved my brothers. They loved everybody. They treated my mom like trash. They treated me like trash. And it is what it is. But everything started for me, man. When it came to my first drink was when I was 7 years old.
Mm.
I was a neighbor next door to my mom's. We used to live on Thurl Lehigh down North Kennington side of Philadelphia. And that was my first drink, my first drug. At 7 years old, I was just a kid. My mom was always working and stuff like that. I don't have a father. My father was an alcoholic, abusive alcoholic. Used to beat the shit out of my mom and my brothers. I escaped with my mom and all. He never got to put his hands on me. Um, I was just a kid outside, man. One of those little 7-year-olds, man. They was just looking for a buddy. Like, Mike, man, I just want you to be my friend. Mike, I just want you to hug me, nurture me, embrace me, teach me, show me, give me structure, give me discipline. I just want to be loved. You know, I ain't really had no friends. I never had friends, and ain't nobody never knocked on my door. So I was always wandering the streets, you know, always at 7 years old. And there was his neighbor, him and his sister and his mom and his father used to own the store on front in York over there in Philadelphia. And they used to sell these little sculptures of like Jesus or a
Mm-hmm.
lion or the tigers and stuff, pillars and stuff. They used to sculpture with the spackle type thing with structure and stuff when they did build these little statues. And I used to like it. Sit there. I mean, I was an art guy. I should liked it. I was a kid. The guy used to like, yeah, he doing this. And I always was curious to find out. Plus, I wanted, you know, I wasn't doing nothing. I was just looking for somebody I ain't got with.
Mm-hmm.
So I went in. Went in his crib. And she was showing me some stuff. Hey, this, that. You would like to do this and this and that. And I did that for the first time. Then I went the next time. And that's when you know, he had something to drink and stuff like that. I wasn't too comfortable with it at first. But then he started like really feeling on me,
Mm.
started sexually abusing me.
Mm.
I didn't know. I didn't know what stuff. Just for me to be his buddy, just for him to be my buddy. You know, he had to do what he did. And I don't know, I drank and stuff like that to get loose. Don't worry about it. You're gonna be all right, you're gonna feel good, it's gonna feel good and this and that. And that was it. That's what started all the sexual abuse in my life from him.
Mm.
Um
Mm.
was crazy about that because I was drinking. And the drinking kind of took me away from even seeing or feeling what was going on. All I know that I felt like I was well loved by this dude.
Wow.
And I, you know, I just started wandering on the streets. And even day after that, it kept on for a while. The stuff between me and him, what he was doing. For some reason, I didn't have, like I said, I didn't have no friends. I ain't nobody to talk to. I ain't nobody to tell. Mom was never around for me to tell. I just kept going back and it just kept going on. I
Mm.
thought it was cool. I thought it was like, okay, you know, he's just showing me love.
Yeah.
And I, even after that, after 7 years old, 8 years old, all the way, man, I've been sexually abused. I've been raped. I've been molested. I've been tossed. I've been used, abused, misled, misleaded, deceived by many, many men. It's
Mm.
been going on all my life, from 7 to 8 to 9 to 10 to 11, even when I was 13 years old. And all those time, all I could do was drink and smoke weed, drink and snort coke. I was one of the little
Mm.
11, 13-year-olds with 9 grams of coke in my pocket at
Mm.
9 years, 10, 11 years old. I use as much as I can. I drank as much as I can. Whatever I can do, whatever. I was a chemist. I was just
Yeah.
coming up with a formula or any type of remedy that I can mix it and even make it more potent or more solid or more comfortable, or more balanced. Um, it just kept on, man. Let me tell you something, man. Like, a lot of men pick me up. I always take a walk right out of my house. I used to walk to like Third and Lehigh, make a right turn to Third and Lehigh, and then get to American Street. When I got to American Street, that's where all the perverts and molesters was at in
Mm.
Philadelphia.
Y'all had a street where all of them was on there?
They would drive. That's where they all drive through, picking up kids and all.
Wow. That's
On
crazy.
American Lehigh. This we talking about, man. We talking about 81, 82, 83, 84. I mean,
Mm.
down to just about to 89.
Mm.
Um, I used to get picked up a lot. I got picked up by reverends. There was a reverend who owned the church from Broad in Susquehanna. He used to pick me up and molest me. I ran
Mm.
into, even through all that time, I've been picked it up. They were taking me to Cherry Hill, buying me clothes, taking me to high end dinners. We talking about high class shit. 11, 13
Mm.
years old. I was living it as a kid. But as long as I was drinking, as long as I was getting high, plus all the money that I was making on, then I acted like I was big shit. 11-year-old big shit trying to go with the other guys. I was literally buying friends because I
Mm.
had money and stuff like that. And that's when the only time they would hang out with me because they know I'll come back, say, Andy always got a couple of dollars. They know what this. I was treating them. We used to go to the 5 and 10 store on 5th and Indiana.
Mm.
Anyway, man, when I got to 13-year-old, that's when it really got real bad for me. Um, That's when I became a 13-year-old prostitute.
Mm.
I was from all the men that was picking me up. We talking about God. We talking about, man. Listen, there was a state senate, city councilman from Philadelphia. They used to pick me up. The reverend I was telling you about. I'm not even gonna tell you about why I don't do therapy. I don't do no psychiatrist. I don't do none of those counselors. Nothing. I went to a therapist a couple times and shared my story. Next thing you know, I'm in his bed. Same situation with the psychiatrist, same situation, all of
Sad,
that. So
brother.
my mom started seeing these dudes picking me up. Said, "Who the hell are these dudes? Who these dudes? Who these dudes?" And I said, "They just friends. Well, you're gonna have to start coming in. I want to meet these guys."
Mm.
So I used to bring the dudes to the crib. My mom used to meet these guys. And, she was saying, like, yeah, I'm glad you with my son. You're showing him stuff like this. At the time, I don't know if she knew, but my mom wasn't dumb. Of course, about 10, 15 years later, she admitted it. She always knew, called me a faggot and all that type of stuff when she
Mm.
got mad at me. But at the time, she was meeting these dudes, and she would get it. She would always find a way to get a couple dollars. I'm glad you're giving Andy something, looking out for him. It's hard for me to, mothers with the scam. My mom was a schemer, dude. She was like, oh, yeah, because it's hard, put food on the table, it's hard, pay these bills. And then the dudes would pass off.
Mm.
So my mom would get a couple dollars here and there, and it happened quite a few times. It wasn't just one dude. Listen, man, I was out there, man. There was a lot of men, a lot of men, a
Sorry you
lot of
had to
men.
experience that, brother.
Yeah, man, and I did that for a while.
Mm.
What's crazy about that experiences in my life since I was 7 to like I was 13, 15 years old. Even at that time, I actually didn't know if I was a straight man, bi man, or a gay man.
Mm.
Because I was really raised. That's the only way I was raised with that type of sex. I was in orgies. I used to be sitting in orgies with a buffet full of drugs and alcohol, and everybody was getting it, butt naked.
Mm.
Everybody, it didn't matter. It wasn't even called a place where it was an orgy, but it wasn't called like, okay, with the gays, the bis. No, there was no title. There was no category or nothing. We were just a bunch of people just getting high, drinking, and buck wild.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I was young. And I used to be involved in a lot of those.
Wow.
Um, then after that, after the 15-year-old, something happened. I'm going to share this here. I don't know who the crowd is that be seeing this, but I just want to share it because what I talk about, Mike, and I mean this from the heart. Like, I really don't care about what people say or what people think. I'm here to
Mm.
save myself. When I tell my story, I tell my story to save me. Because see, I don't have skeletons in my closets. I don't have
Mhm.
secrets in my life. I don't
Mhm.
I don't deal with pressure, anxiety, depression, stress. I don't deal with none of that today. And that's all because the God in my life, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and
Mm.
Alcoholics Anonymous. You know what I
Mm.
mean? So this is what happened, man. And I never told this story on I told this story only in the meetings because I'm surrounded by Alcoholics Anonymous members. Um, Not always that I ever shared it on social media. Um, a lot of people from Philadelphia know this guy, even when I shared in some of these, because I do a lot of H&I commitments. I do a lot of
Okay.
hospital. I just did Malvern's Rehabilitation Center over there by Fort Road in Philadelphia. I just did that speaker night. Um, there was this guy, man. You can Google him. You can Google
Mhm.
him if you want. They call him Fast Eddie.
Mm.
But a lot of the kids just call him Mr. Ed.
Mhm.
But his AKA name is Fast Eddie. They knew him as that. Um, he was one of those guys that was really, really nice to kids and teenagers. Always showered them with gifts, money, taking them out to eat always or whatever. And he used to have a lot of traffic going in and out of his house. And a lot of people just was wondering, what's going on with that? Um, Somehow, some way, sometime, somebody said something, the parents heard about some things was going on. And they all got together, they called the authorities. They finally got a warrant, went into this man's house, and discovered a lot of crazy things. They,
Mm.
they discovered mirrors, cameras, empty room full of gifts and toys, nothing but mirrors and cameras, and a closet full of zip bags full of feces of kids, their
Whoa.
their socks, their underwears, and stuff like that. Then they discovered that this man was, a molester, a real pervert. So they
Mm.
locked him up. They locked him up. You know, when you get locked up, you always, I don't know if you know, I did 23 years off and on. I did 10 years upstate. Um, you do the intake when you get to the county, when you get to the county district before you go anywhere and do blood work and stuff. I think a couple of days later, they discovered this man had AIDS.
Mm.
He had AIDS, and he was affecting a lot of these kids.
Wow, bro.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I was one of those kids.
Wow, brother. I'm
I
sorry
was
to hear
one of
that,
the kids.
man.
You know, I've been dealing with this diagnosis for about 34 years now. You know, by the grace of God, you know, there was a time when I was 29, I didn't think I'd make it to 34. And
Wow.
then from 34, I didn't think I'd make it to 44. But
Where
by the
was you?
grace,
Where was
go
you
ahead.
when you? Where was you when you first got the news? And how did you like? What was going through your mind and your body at that time, man?
I did. I found out later. To be honest, my mother, like I said, my mom was a schemer, dude. My mom knew before I did. I didn't know. Like, you know how you take your pride, you
Wow.
know, how the confidentiality of you and your doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, she went to the doctors and paid him off and said, "Give me that."
Mm.
And it was you know, I drank a lot. I needed to drink. I love to drink. I love to
Yeah.
get high.
Yeah.
I truly believe that I was never going to stop getting high or drinking. Um,
Mm.
I let me see. I I was just walking. I went to my mom's, and my mom said, "Yo, tú sabes in Spanish, I tú tienes esa enfermedad." She said, "Hey, listen, I just, you know, you are like, you know." In her words, it's like the same old ignorant people words that don't even know, have no information on. You know how they used to say, "Oh, you got that hot shit."
Mm.
You know what I mean? And there was time, man, mom was brutal with me. Like times that every time I used the bathroom, whatever the case may be that I used the bathroom, you should take a bottle of Clorox up there. You just pour it all over the fucking bathroom. You know what I mean? So I started wandering the streets more. Started wandering the streets, started drinking a lot more, just drinking, and getting high. Like, you know, I was a foul dude, man. I did a lot of foul things in my addiction and my alcoholism. You know, thank God because of Alcoholics Anonymous and the 12 steps that I do the work, dude. I really do the work. I don't play.
Yeah.
I
Me
don't play.
neither,
I do the
bro.
work, Pop.
Me neither, bro.
I do the
Me
work. You know
neither.
what I mean? And
Me neither, bro. Me neither,
you
bro. You
know,
already know.
yeah, you
You
know,
already know.
I did a lot of crazy things, man. You know, just and it's not that I want to even talk about it. All I know that I can tell you that I was a piece of shit. I was
Mm.
one foul dude. Nobody wanted to be around me. Nobody wanted to talk to me. There are people that couldn't wait till I died. There was people wishing I was dead. There people think I was still alive. Um, you know, man, I've been kidnapped twice by some killers. I jumped out of a third floor because I didn't want to stop getting high and drinking. I've been barricaded with guns and all. I also been just bodies dropping on my feet. I witnessed murders in my feet. Because I was also the victim of that. Lucky that my reflex in my legs, I used my legs to block the bullets. When they shot
Mm.
me, they was trying to kill me, and I survived. My man didn't. It was also in the news, in the paper, Inquirer, Philadelphia Inquirer, and Daily News. Um, and it was March 24th, 1989, 9:35 p.m. It was
Mm.
in down the way. I survived that. That didn't stop me from getting high. I've been homeless. That didn't stop. I hit rock bottoms and just like, you know, I truly believed everything that, you know, because I was one of them dudes, Mike. I was one of them dudes. This how foul. I'm gonna tell you right now how foul I was. I was that same dude that would come home. It was the first of the month, and I'll sneak out the house and I'll sneak back in the house. Go upstairs around 5:15 in the morning. My mom wakes up about 6:05 in the morning, and she calls me all the time because I'm her baby. Regardless, I'm still her baby no matter what. I don't blame my mom for nothing. My mom is just my mom. And she'll call me downstairs. She'll be like, "Yo, Andy, please," in Spanish. All this in Spanish. Andy, please, son, listen, Linda, listen. Like, you know, like I cash my check, I give it, pay these bills and all. I gotta pay the rent. I'm already behind, and I can't find my check.
Mm.
And I would be like, "Don't worry about mom. We're gonna find this shit. We're gonna find this money." And I'm flipping her mattresses because she said she had it under the mattress. I'm ripping shit up. I'm tossing sofas and all that. I'm looking at little special bottles and cups because she always trying to hide money from me. She just couldn't. And she tried it, and I'm thinking she hid it from me so hard that she hid it from herself and this and that. And that's the way I was making her think. I made her believe that she hid it so hard that she was just hiding from me and just can't find it. So I'm tossing, and my mom come up to me crying. I'm talking about crying, dude, and hugging me and telling me, baby, what am I going to do? And at the same time, I had the money in my pocket all along.
Damn, bro. Yeah, that addiction is no joke, bro. It's no joke, man.
Man, I did that like twice to her. I did some crazy shit as well, man. Like, you know, um, I want to get to July 11th, 2024.
Go ahead, brother.
Because even through I can tell you stories about anything that I've done, everything that I've done, the reason why I've been the most hated, the most unlikable, the most person, the most foul dude that nobody want nothing to do with. And there's so many things that I have done that I'm not proud of. I'm not ashamed of it. I don't regret it because everything that I went through is all part of the plan. It was
Facts.
all God's plan.
Facts.
So,
Facts.
July 11th, 2024. This is what happened. I'm gonna tell you what happened. I was still getting high and stuff like that. There was a lady. Her name was Crystal, and she had went to a contractor, remodeling contractor, to remodel a two. It was a 3 apartment building, but it was two that needed to be remodeled and rehabbed. She just inherited from her husband that passed away. She don't know nothing about the real estate. She don't know nothing. All she knows is that she just wanted to fix it so maybe she can rent it out and get some money. So she gave these contractors $4,200, and the next day she thought they was coming. They didn't. They never came. They took the money and just left.
Damn.
They took her money. So so then she called a friend. A friend knew of me. Um, She said, I know somebody. His name is Andy. Really good dude. Because even without the drugs and alcohol, in reality, the qualities in us are just makes us beautiful people. We
Mm-hmm.
are beautiful people. Addicts and alcoholics are very amazing, beautiful people. We just, wind up going a different direction.
Facts.
And
Facts.
and she called me, said, Andy, how you doing? My name's Crystal. I wanted to know if you can come over and take a look at these apartments and tell me what can we do. We could talk a little bit of what happened to me and stuff like that. I already knew because the young lady told me about it. So when I went over there, we talked. We talked that Thursday, um, and she showed me the places. She said, listen, Andy, they took my money. I'm trying to get some money together. Tell me how much you would charge for this apartment to rehab this apartment, how much you would charge and went up downstairs as well. The first apartment was 1 floor, kitchen, living room. Then up the steps was 2 bedroom, bathroom. So it was connected, but it was like 2 flooring.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely put a brand new kitchen, the whole thing, with carpet and all. And I told her, I tell you what, you can give me 1,900. 1,900. 1,900 alone is just a flooring.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really talking about the full kitchen, bathroom, everything. I she'd do it for 19. Then she asked me about the other apartment. I looked at it, I said 2,800 with a deck. Now be mindful, Mike, a bathroom, full bathroom is 35 to 4,200
Mm-hmm.
alone, just the bathroom alone. The kitchen is just about 42 to 4,500 for the kitchen. But I
Mm-hmm.
did the whole apartment for 28 in a custom made island and a deck, and then the other one was just a full bathroom, full kitchen, remodel all the flooring and stuff like that, all the flooring and everything. So she said, okay, well I can. Then I said, well, just give me 2,500 deposit, and I said, okay. So I went Friday. She called me up and said, I got the money. You can come get it. And that was on Friday. So I went there. That was on Shelton and Chew, up there by Schoolhouse Lane, neighborhood, West Philly, by Miami area. And I went down, knocked on the door. She came out. We talked. She cried and cried and said, Andy, this is all I got. It's 2,500. I done borrowed from loan sharks. I done borrowed from friends. Um, I sold some things just to try to get this going. I really need to get this going because I really, really need an income. I'm really messed up. I'm fucked up. Bills are bad. I'm doing bad. And I'm doing my best. And I took the $2,500 and she looked at me, babe, just tell me, Andy, are you going to be here Monday? And I looked at her in the eyes and I say, I will be here on Monday. I promise you. I got that money, man. I'm gonna tell you right now, man. My stomach was fucked up already. My anxiety was off the charts. I went to Broad and True to catch the bus. I'm trying to do the right thing. I called my recent that at that time though I was in a relationship and I called her. Now I made the call just to make the call, just to show that hey, I tried. You know what I mean? Which I wasn't because I knew that once I called her, I knew she wasn't coming to pick me up.
Mm.
So I called her, said, hey, listen, I'm here in Broad and True. You feel like picking me out? She goes just like this, Mike. I swear the guy already knew. She went like this. Do I have to? I'm watching Grey's Anatomy.
Mm.
And I said, no, don't worry about it. I'll be home. Of course, that whole weekend I never made it home. By 5:15 Monday morning, I drank my last moonshine because the 1 year before I had my last drink, I switched over to just moonshine, 100 proof.
Mm.
I loved it. I wouldn't dare drink no beer. I didn't mix no beer. I didn't even drink water with this moonshine. I just wanted to drink it because I needed instant gratification.
Facts. We
Of
love
course,
instant
and
gratification.
I used to tell my story. I just need a direct deposit.
Mm.
That the minute you know how the minute that money falls in, you got already. You can spend it as soon as you get it. And I needed that instant gratification, and that moonshine did it for me for that 1 year. So anything,
Mm.
any problems I had, any pain I had, any sorrows, anything, the betrayals, the lies, and everything that I have impacted people, man, like it just went washed away.
Mm.
I was, and I didn't have faith. I didn't believe. I knew there was a God, but I never worked with him. Never
Mm-hmm.
tried to work with God at all. I was too ashamed, too embarrassed, too foul. I didn't believe in forgiveness. I didn't think he would forgive me. And then I started believing, literally believing, that I was just a human lesson to all human beings, to all human beings. So if you feel as though I'm a blessing in your life, I can guarantee you I'm a lesson in your life. I'm here to
Mm.
destroy everything you love, everything you believed in, all your sleeps and everything out in your dream. I was there to destroy that, and I did. I destroyed my wife for 29, my ex-wife for 29 years. I destroyed her life. I mean, I scorned and scorned that woman to a point, man. Like I don't even know how she recovering.
Wow,
I
brother.
was never abusive alcoholic. I wasn't like my father. I never hit nobody. My shit, I was surgical with my mouth. I was surgical with my lies. I was, man, listen, man, just not a human being in my life when I was drinking and drugging that you're not leaving unless you're giving me something. You're giving me something. And
Mm.
you're gonna want to give it to me because the shit I was spitting is just it's very convincing.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
I used to do that with a lot of the drug dealers in the neighborhood. I robbed every drug dealer in North Kensington section. Every one of them. I just not one I didn't rob. My mom used to stand in front of the door because the Dominicans would come and knock on my door. Because see, I was one of those vicious dudes. Cause see, this is one of my guarantees that I tell you that you don't give me a 10 pack. Say here's my ID, here's my address. This is where I live. This is where I eat. This is where I sleep. If you got any problems, you can come to the crib. So they are so for and their idea is just like, well, I know where he live at. I'm getting nothing about him, so they'll give it to me, and I'll take it. They can take it, and they'll come to the
Mm.
house with guns and all. And my mom standing in front of the door and say, "You're not touching my son." I don't know what force, whatever was going on. All I know that my mom kept me safe all my life before she passed away. She My family resented her. My brothers couldn't stand her. My mother went through a whole lot, dude. I made peace with my mom. I did my amends step, and I wrote the letter. And I finally, for the first time, I went to a cemetery on April 15th, and I made my amends for the first time. I did see her the day before she passed away. That's another story. I was drinking and getting high, but when I found out, because they kept my mom away from me,
Mm-hmm.
I was blacked out from seeing my mom until I finally, my ex-wife called me and said, "Hey, listen, your mom's in hospice. She's about to die." And that's the only way I found out where she was at. They wouldn't give me no information, but I found her. I've been there for her. My brothers took power of attorney. My cousin took a power of attorney and did nothing for my mom. They just took her money, her house, and abandoned my mom.
That's sad, bro. That's sad,
Um,
bro.
so I saw her before she died. This is what happened. I was up for 72 hours. And then Thursday, she said, I asked her, "Mom, what you want to eat?" And she said, "I wanted some rice and beans." I said, I went home that night, cooked her. I came back on Friday morning, and I couldn't feed her because they told me that her food was going into her lungs.
Mm.
There was no digestion system for her, and so I couldn't feed her. They needed to make a phone call. They needed consent to put a tube to feed her. My brothers, my cousins, they never picked up the call. So Saturday, I had to sleep. I ate some food. I ran Sunday morning around 6:45, 6:50 in the morning. I went down there to run to her. By 7:15, 7:20, the director came down and said my mom passed away at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I dealt with that. And that was the year that I started drinking a lot of moonshine. Then I got to that place where I met this lady. I tried to help her out. She gave me some money that Friday. By Sunday morning, I blacked out and I made it to St. Chris Episcopal Hospital at the Crisis Center. I
Mm.
blacked out, came to, blacked out, winded up in detox in the rehab. At Beacon
Mm.
Point on Tulane Line again in down Philadelphia.
So when you
And
woke up in the rehab, did you was like, yo, how did I get here? Like, what's going on?
yes, I got up, I came to, I was in the 7th floor. And I came out to, "What's going on? Where am I? Oh, you in detox. You at Beacon Point Rehabilitation Center." I
Mm.
said, "Well, detox. Why am I on detox? I don't know." But when I went back to my room, I understood why. That's when I really, really, I admitted I was an alcoholic. I knew I had to be an alcoholic,
Mm.
because I was suffering from withdrawal the way a heroin addict suffers from when they're.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was
Yeah.
getting that bone, shit cramping
Mm-hmm.
up, shit,
Mm-hmm.
all that. I'm like, oh shit. Of course, they like to fill you with Albions, whatever they
Yeah.
feed you with to keep you.
Librium, and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Librium. Yeah.
so what happened was, I got up, I walked to the bathroom. I didn't want to look in the mirror because I already knew I was a piece of shit.
Mm.
And I went to the shower, turned the water on, and tried to turn the shower water into holy water. Caught
Mm.
myself praying. I broke down. I
Yeah. That.
broke down. I was
Yeah. That
broken.
was that
Yo,
moment.
I was broken. I got nobody to call. I got no more mama. I got nothing. I got nowhere to go. Nothing. I really, at that point, for the first time, I didn't have no one to call.
He cornered you.
Yeah,
He
he
cornered
did.
you.
He
He
did.
cornered you. He cornered you.
And
He did that. He did that to me. He did
yeah.
that to me. You know what I mean? Like, I never really told you what I went through. You know what I'm saying? In 2009, I found my wife murdered. 2 days later, I realized I was the suspect. So it took 6 years for them to figure out what happened to my wife. So every year for 6 years, I woke up, I thought I was going to jail for murder I didn't do.
Mm,
You know what I mean? So I went to rehab first, and I wasn't ready. I
right.
compared myself to the people. Then they told me, when you come back, you're gonna be drinking twice as much. They figured out who did it. It took us 4 more years to get to trial. After that point, after the trial was over, I was drinking more than a fifth a day, man. And I went back that second time with the gift of desperation. And
Right.
that's when I opened the book. And then I did the steps and I did all that. So, but it was a moment where, like you talking about, where my ex-wife, because it was during my second marriage, and I was laying in the bed at night, and I couldn't go to sleep. I kept shaking and all that stuff. And she said, "Do you want me to take you to crisis?" And I was like, "No, I know what I got to do." And I
Right.
went in the basement and I cried out, "Either God help me or take me." I had that moment you was talking about, where it ain't
Right.
nobody you could call. Nothing is gonna matter, no matter what you do. Oh yeah, your phone ringing again.
Hold on, Mike. I'm trying to hang this up. I don't know why I'm not.
Yeah, it's nothing you're gonna be able to do. None of that stuff. Hold on, wait for you to get done.
No, I don't want to do nothing. That's why I just had to
Yeah,
text my lady because she called me on a break.
no, it's
Hopefully she
cool.
get the message.
No,
But
no, I
yeah,
was saying that. I saying when you be in that situation, there's nobody you could call. There's nowhere you could go. He got you cornered, and the only way out is to him. That's the only way out.
you
You
know,
know what I
and
mean?
I
So,
and I and I talk about that. I talk about that,
mhm,
Mike. You know, like even when after all that, I opened the Bible up first time. Never listen, man. 23 years in prison. That's the only time I opened the Bible. Because I
mm,
literally was doing my best to manipulate God. I wanted to manipulate him
mm,
just to get me out of jail. I did whatever I could.
mm,
I didn't not even realize how goofy and a fool I was. All the foolery,
mm,
believing that I can manipulate and lie to him and wear a mask. But I talked to God and let him know, please let me out. Please let me out. And
mm,
thinking that when he did leave me out, because it ain't always God. I'm trying to tell you, man, listen, man, not all blessings come from the Lord. I'm trying to tell you, man, I know I truly believe
mm,
that this dude downstairs sometimes allows you to do so well so that you can be distracted and not even look up in the air and talk to God.
100%,
Because you know
100%.
the arrogance, the cockiness, the complacency
Mm-hmm.
that people go through, they think they're okay. I'm good. I'm gonna holler at you later. I'm good. I got
Facts,
my job, I
facts.
got my clothes, I got
Yeah.
my bread, I got my car, I got my girl, I got my crib. I'll talk to you in a minute.
Mm-hmm. I
And I
say that all the
learned that
time.
I
I say
learned that
that.
when you did, yeah, I learned you don't get away with that. I learned that when God would put a boot on your ass. He'll put a boot on you.
Yeah, you
He
better
go, he
believe
gonna
that.
put a boot on you. He gonna sit your ass down. You go ahead and do it. You go ahead and don't even call
Uh-huh.
his name out. At least we better
Yep.
call his name out once a day, even if it's once a day. I do it all the time, man. But like you say,
That's
yeah,
good, man.
he cornered me. He cornered me,
Mm,
man. He really did it to me, man. And he broke me. He got me, and I
mm,
did. And I opened up that book of Job that day, man.
mm,
And from there on, I started going to the meeting downstairs. Now, mind you, I'm in pain. I'm miserable. I'm sad. I'm depressed. I'm angry. I'm homeless. I'm friendless.
mm.
I'm helpless. To a point, I was hopeless, man. And but I like to talk about shit because I remember back in 1981 when I was involved with ODAT one day at a time program when they used to be out. I never liked them. I couldn't stand them. It was the first time a recovery house came out in Philadelphia around 81, after a little bit after 81. And all they did was fed you oodles and noodles 3 times a day, take the $200-300 of food stamps and buy you oodles and noodles. Never gave you car fare. Made you walk around the world. That was the kind of
Mm.
recovery house that was.
Wow.
So I used to go to the meeting downstairs. So that's when I learned about H&I commitments, hospitals and institutions.
Mm-hmm.
There was 3 guys came in. This is my time when I was there. I didn't realize it. It was a young guy with a hat like this, and 2 other young guys. And there was, 2 of them shared a story, but the main one stood up and shared his story, and his name was Joe. And he was talking. So when he got done speaking, he gave it to the floor. And of course, I don't waste no time, man. I got to talk about it. I got to talk about these little 2 fool ass people over there with a relationship. Rehab's got
Yeah.
relationships.
Yeah, all the
You know
time.
what I mean?
All
you
the
know what I mean?
time.
There's always a relationship in a rehab.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just don't get it. Then you got another brother over there. All of a sudden, he's studying, reading books. Then you got another guy drawing and making cards for their snacks and stuff like that. Hustlers, coming there, hustling,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Um, and then I talked. And mind you, man, there was a lot at that time when I was there. Was a lot of couple of white folks and all that, like stuff like that. So I didn't know who to trust. I didn't know who to talk to. I thought everybody was full of shit. I didn't want to talk to nobody. So I'm screaming, hollering, throwing chairs, cursing, and I'm talking about so erratic, so crazy and chaotic. And my sponsor, who has became my sponsor, Joe, he went like that, snapped his finger, shut me up, and said, "I'm going to be your sponsor. I'm going to give you my phone number, and I'm going to take you to the 12 steps."
Mm.
I never spoke again. And 2 weeks later, I completed the program. Out of 30, I had one cell phone out of 34 of them in that 1 year. One survived. I sold 33 cell phones, smashed them
Wow.
30. Yeah, and that 1 year from Cricket to Metro to Boost Mobile, I just kept jumping and jumping. And you'd be surprised because I got 9 Facebooks that I don't even know the password to. I got a lot of I got 9 Facebooks right now. If you look for Anderson Alvarez, Alvarez Anderson, Andy Alvarez, Andy, Butter Andy, you're gonna find them all. And
how was your
I,
how was your step experience with 4 and 5?
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you. After I got out, I'm gonna tell you right about it. I'm gonna tell you this first. I got out the rehab, had a cell phone. I made that cell phone call. I called my sponsor. So what you want me to do? I'm already surrendered. I already became willing. I'm already willing.
Yeah.
Called him up. He said, "There's a meeting down St. Dominic's Church right across from CVS. It starts at 6:30. It was 21/6. 20/6. It starts at 6:30. I wound up at a church. There was no meeting at. So by 6:21, I called my sponsor because there's no meeting here. And then he told me, well, listen, you're in the wrong church. You need to go further up under the bridge, go right, left, boom, boom, bang, you're there. And I did. I raised my hand. And that's when I said, my name is Andy. I'm an alcoholic. And that's the first time in the meeting. At first, when I walked in there, I don't know nothing about Alcoholics Anonymous. I thought there was a lot of rapists, a lot of molesters, because these old white dudes, man. There was number old white dudes in there. I don't know. They look all look alike, man. And I didn't know. So I was scared he was 12. But that home group, Young Men's of Alcoholics Anonymous, ended up being the cornerstone of my sobriety, man. That became, let me tell you something, man. They're the only ones that let me free. Because I was cursing, I was screaming, I was yelling, I was throwing shit, and they just let me be. First 9 months. And I recovered. So when I talked to my sponsor, I went to LOD, and he said,
that was my spot. That was my spot, LOD. I've been to LOD a couple times. Yeah, I've been there a couple times. Yeah, that's my spot.
That's why I spoke Monday. That's why I spoke
right on that street in Philly. It got stores all around it and stuff.
There's a Dunkin' Donuts and there's the little store. Williston Academy Road.
Yep. I've been there before. Go ahead.
Well, I talked to my sponsor. Of course, my sponsor didn't want to waste no time. He said, "I'm gonna take you to the steps, right?" Now, I just want to turn to make sure I got step 4 and 5 right in my face too, while I'm talking to you. So I'm gonna take 2 steps. Okay, cool. Of course, when he took me to the first 3 steps, man, for me, man, I'm gonna tell you something right now. I broke it down to like we always say, I can't, he can, and I'm gonna let him. Once I become willing, it doesn't matter if I'd have done those steps, I'd have made my meetings, I'd have got a sponsor, made it look like I got good or something. Because people just get a sponsor just to have a sponsor. You say, hey, yeah, I got a sponsor. You know, I got a sponsor, and I allow my sponsor to sponsor me. So once I became willing, I made a meeting, I got my sponsor, and we met up. And of course, you know, everybody knows 1, 2, and 3. I admitted, I searched, and I turned it over. It's that simple. I believe in the power greater than myself, which is my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I already knew I was an alcoholic and an addict, a drunk and a crackhead. My life was chaotic. Then I had to do something before I got to the 4th step and the 5th step. I had to do something because when I heard that if you do a thorough moral search and inventory on the 4th step, you're gonna feel some shit. You're gonna face some shit. You know what I mean? So you just can't skip 1, 2, and 3 and think you're gonna do 4 and be high on 5. It don't be like that, because if you don't do a good 4, you don't get high by the time you get to 5.
Facts.
You don't get high before you get to 5. So I did that, and I turned my will, and this is when my faith just became so strong. When I turned my will and my life over to a power greater than me, which is my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, I gave it to him. I gave him everything. So when I gave him everything, he told me, come on in, get in the back of the bus. You number the bozo in the back of the bus. I know you like my 32s, but I won't take you somewhere beyond your imagination. So I follow God. I believe in God. I have faith in God. And without him, there's no way I'd be sitting here having a conversation with you, Mike. Absolutely no way. I truly believe. I never thought I'd believe. I never thought I'd be forgiven. If it was for my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Alcoholics Anonymous, I would not be here. When I did this 4-step, made a search in the feelers more inventory of ourselves, how instinct can exceed this proper function. Step 4 is an effort to discover our liability, basic problems on extreme to an extensive drive. Misguided moral inventory can result in guilt, grandiosity, or blaming others. Assets can be noted with liability. Self-justification is dangerous. Willingness to take inventory brings light and new confidence. Step 4 is the beginning of lifetime practice. Common symptoms of emotional insecurity are worry, anger, self-pity, and depression. Inventory review relationship important to thoroughness. Listen, man, I found out I was a narcissist. And you know how exes would love to hear you admit that shit. You know what I mean? I'm a narcissist. I believe I found out some stuff, man. I made the list of resentments, animosities, all the angers, all the pain, everything that was done to me, and everything. I had to do all that. I went through, and I procrastinated at first. It took me almost 2-3 months to do this stuff because as Starl as my sponsor wanted me to do it, I was feeling some shit. Let me tell you something, man. If it wasn't for that 4-step, I wouldn't be able to do the rest of the steps. Facts. Then I had to prepare myself for the making amends. I had to prepare myself to give up and work on my character defects and my shortcomings.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I had to prepare. And and you spoke about 5th step, of course, admit to God, to ourselves, to another human being, the exact nature of our wrongs. You know how hard that is?
I know how hard it is.
You know what I mean?
How hard it is. That changed my life.
I had to get honest. I had to get honest from my dishonesty. Because we all got a dishonesty inside of us that we're going to take to the grave.
Facts.
That dishonesty that nobody really knows. That dishonesty to say that, I was in pain. I had to take that perk so that way I won't ruin my sobriety. But you already knew what that perk does. So come on, get honest. Get really honest. You know what I mean? The excuse. And by the grace of God, man, I could truly stand here and say my sobriety, man, like, I've been given oxycodone and I've been given perks and I never took them. I gave them away because I got osteoarthritis. I got a degenerative disease on my bones. They shot my spine, about 4 shots of my spine for this pain. I'm a survivor. I'm a cancer survivor. I had cancer. I went to treatment for 9 weeks with chemo and radiation. I survived that. I had 3 heart attacks. I have a stent in my artery. I have a ventricle valve that's damaged, totally damaged. I survived all these things.
What was interesting in my joint with step 4 was I'm writing the I'm on the part with the harms and with the and then I did the sex inventory. So I'm checking the boxes with the women, right? And I'm just noticing, and you know how you got to write the whatever you did next to the name and stuff.
Yeah.
I found myself keep writing the same thing. I just started doing quotation marks because I got tired of writing the same thing over and over again. So now when I'm looking at this list, I saw my pattern. And I said to myself, like, yo, you terrible. Because in my mind, before looking at myself in black and white, I could rationalize. I could blame it on them. I could say like they knew I was married or they knew I was a player or this or that. But when you look at yourself and you see it over and over and over and over, you gotta admit that you are the problem. Like when you looking at this stuff, you like, yo, I can't. And until somebody experienced that, seeing they self in black and white and totally honest, it changes you, man.
Listen, it's so hard for people to understand when you can look in the mirror and say to yourself, like, you mother flower, you mother father, like you have been the problem all along. You are the disease of your own self. Like they say, they all saying you're your own worst enemy.
Yeah.
And we don't pay no mind to that cliche, whatever, the way we say it. Yeah, step 4 is what you just said. Like, all this time, I've been the problem. I've been the problem all along. Because no one in this world, there's absolutely nothing in this world that can stop me but me.
And what happened? How did you feel once you explained it to the person on step 5?
Well, when it comes to step 5, I'm pretty sure, which because step 5 comes with the making amends step as well. Just admitting. I didn't start doing that with individuals until I started doing it in the meeting.
No, I'm talking about when you explain step 4 to your sponsor. See, I did mine different. I had to take the inventory.
Uh-huh.
I had to take it to him. He read the inventory, right?
Right.
Then I had to go into detail about everything on all of the papers with him and God. I had to go into detail about everything on all of those papers with him and God. With every person that's on the list, he asked me, well, what happened with Deborah? I got to go into everything. Well, I did this, I did this, I did this. That kind of, bro, that broke me, bro.
The only ones that was on my list, that one ended up being the only ones, because everybody else was either dead or gone, was my ex-wife and my mom. Mike, I was one of them dudes. I didn't feel anything. Like I really didn't care who died. I didn't care what happened to anybody. I didn't care about nobody. I cared at the moment with my ex-wife for those 29 years that I tortured that woman. And my sponsor looked at that. My sponsor looked at the my ex-wife and my mom. And because I did a lot of damage to my mom, but for some reason, mom broke my heart more because of the fact that no matter what I did, she was still kind. She still loved me, no matter how foul I was, and no matter how everybody just kept telling her, I don't know why you're trying to save this dude. He is nothing but a piece of shit. He's a nobody. I don't know why you're looking out for him. Why are you trying to save this dude? And my mom tried it all. She tried even, you ever remember those? I don't know if you should remember those little bottle of alcohol that was green with the flour in it that people used to try to hold you, throw it on you. My mom did that, you know what I mean? But my sponsor only talked to me about them two.
Okay.
Everybody else, in all honesty, I don't know. And then it was, by the time I got to 5, 6, when I got to my character defects and my shortcomings, I had to realize that I had to be mindful because I grew up not caring. I ain't no conscious. I didn't know conscious at
I'm gonna
all.
get to. I'm gonna get to that. Yeah, I understand. Go ahead.
Yeah. What you want? Go ahead.
Out of all the stuff you went through, bro, from 7 years old and going all the way to that stuff till you was like 15 and all that kind of stuff, right? When did it turn from you not looking at yourself as a victim and then understanding that it had a purpose? When did that happen and what did it feel like?
I remember saying to myself, like I think I said it earlier, a little bit of it, that I truly believe there's things that I really believed, as foul as I was. I truly believed that I was becoming a Satan's servant.
Damn.
I believed that I was a Satan's instrument. I believed, and you know how we say because I read that book, Purpose Driven Life. I don't know if you heard of that.
Yeah, I heard of that before.
Well, I actually believe, like I said, I believe my purpose was to, like, whatever people went through, like, let's just say what I went through. What I went through and everything that I went through, I'm sitting on victory. I'm on victory now. All that stuff that I went through. So whatever people did to me, all the rapes, all the molestations, all the things, the abuse that I went through, everything that I went through, is what got me where I'm at today. Like I survived that. I don't regret that, but I truly believe whatever they all was to me, I became to everybody.
Damn.
I really believe that I was, like I said, I was just your lesson. I was never a blessing in nobody's life. Because I had a skill of making people love me. I had this skill, real surgical, to make you like me, love me, care about me, and give me anything. And all that, and that was just manipulation. Me manipulating. I'm telling you, and it's hard. It's not, and everybody can get honest about that. Like I was found. People say, well, and then of course people do. They say, well, that was you. Yeah, that was me. I don't have to take it with me, but I like to tap into it sometimes.
Mm.
I like to tap into my past because, gee, I'm not like everybody who wants to let it go and keep moving forward. I need to always be reminded. So
Yeah, because yeah,
my past keeps me from getting complacency.
facts.
My
Fact.
past keeps me from the insane, repeated thinking, doing it over and over and over, like you were doing it
Mm-hmm.
over and expecting different results.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
What was the moment once you transform and you had that feeling, that awakening, and God came into your life? When did you get comfortable being the new you?
A little bit after 9 months of my
Mm.
sobriety. The first
Mm.
9 months, I was just dumping, screaming, hollering. And what's crazy was the 9 months that I was just trashing everybody, trashing myself, trashing my past and everything. In all reality, Mike, I just didn't know how to tell everybody. I just want to get high.
Mm.
All that tantrum, because I didn't know how to, hey, listen, I want to get high. I want to go
Mm.
tricking. I want to get high.
Mm.
I want to drink. After
Mm.
9 months, this is what happened. There was an Alcoholic Anonymous member at the LOD, Wayne,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
old head Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when I was there, I was screaming and hollering. People are scared of me in these meetings, even to this day, because I was that brutal. I was that crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And today, when they see the progress I made in my life, today they all speaking out now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They,
You know,
Mike,
I know how it is. I know how
they
it
telling
is.
me right now, yo, man, I don't know if I should have brought a gun when you come speaking or stuff like that. And then the women would be scared. Women won't even, when they see me talking, they roll, they leave the meeting. They couldn't
Mm.
stand me. They all admitted it. Yeah, I was scared of you, Andy. I was
Mm.
scared of you. I didn't want to be around you. I don't want to be near you. I don't even want to listen to you. And
Mm.
so I was about to get banned from the meeting because of my craziness. I already knew I wanted to get high. I just wasn't trying to tell nobody.
Mm.
And I went into the meeting. He pulled me up, and I'm mindful. I can't stand this mother. I couldn't stand him. I swear to God, I wanted to put him down. That's how bad I couldn't stand this dude. And he pulled me over, knowing I don't want to hear nothing he got to say. But for some reason, I couldn't even speak when he spoke. He took me in
Mm.
the back. Andy, you know, it's kind of crazy, this and that, yeah, curse and yeah, you're scaring the members away, you're scaring people away, and all this stuff and all that stuff. And I just wanted to smash and whatever because I was self-centered still.
Mm-hmm.
Still self-centered, still inconsiderate, real selfish. But I don't know what happened. After he spoke, I didn't speak back. I didn't rebuttal. I didn't say nothing to him. I went home. And I kept thinking about it and I kept talking about it to my sponsor and all that because my sponsor felt the same way. But my sponsor still supported me because he knew that everybody the first time in Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous, we're crazy, we in pain, we hurting, we angry, we
100%.
embarrassed,
100%.
we in
100%.
shame. And I don't know, Mike, 3 days later I went back. I realized some stuff. I started talking about the getting high and stuff like that. Because it says in how it works, man, the disease dies with a lot of exposure.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you expose that shit, the more it will fade away and die.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I went to the meeting and I broke down. I broke down crying and crying and realized that I was chaotic.
Mm.
Um I was wrong. I took an inventory, like the four from the 4 step to the 10 step. Because I
Yep.
always
Yep. Yep.
I do a spot check every night, every morning when I do a spot check of an inventory. And
Mm-hmm.
that's when I started learning about that 10 step more and the 4 step. I went back a little bit on the 4 step, which I still need to go back on the 4 step.
Mm-hmm.
Because it ain't over. There's no
It ain't over at
graduation
all. I do it every year.
for all those in Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous. There ain't no ceremony. You're not gonna wear a gown. You're not graduating from no fucking program. You know what I mean? You ain't getting no certificate of completion of Alcoholics. And go ahead. So I broke down and started crying, Mike, and I realized, took an inventory, and I realized that I was inappropriate. My
Mm.
profanity was out of control. My screaming and hollering was scaring. I don't know. After all that, and I talked about how I really felt in the gut level, in my stomach and all, things got better. I started
Mm-hmm.
believing. I started praying. Within that 1 year, once I had my 1 year anniversary there at LOD, and they gave me cakes and balloons and stuff on my first year. Then after that, my faith really started building, and I
Oh,
started understanding gratitude, appreciation.
mm-hmm.
um, I started understanding expectations. I learned that if I want to be happy, I got to drop my expectations.
Mm.
I
Deep
learned that if I drop my
back.
expectations, because for me, I learned that expectations causes you disappointment and
Mm-hmm.
depression.
Yup. Yup.
Everything that supports you from not getting what you expect just depresses you. But I
Mm-hmm.
learned that as long as I don't have expectations in my life, I'm going to be happy. Long as I keep that gratitude in my life, I'm going to be very, very happy.
Mm.
Very
Who-
happy. And then my faith started building. I
Mhm.
started
Mhm.
believing. Then I started doing because I've been building. I've been trying to build something on TikTok for 4 years. I managed to get at least a little over 13,000 followers,
I
close
see
to
your
13.
joint. I see your joint. Your
Yeah,
joint popping.
and
Your
and,
joint
and I've been
popping.
doing live, and they just suspended me. Why? They suspended me until Friday.
Mm.
And I got mad, so I attacked AI and I attacked TikTok because I observe, and I know we all do. We observe these other live feeds, and a
Mm-hmm.
lot of a lot of these live feeds, they curse, they smoke weed, they talk about
Wow.
sex, all this crazy stuff. I'm talking about the worst profanity. I'm not like, why are they still on? I don't even curse no more. I used to curse. Well, when the co-hosts that I have, they help me out. We used to have a code
Mhm.
name when Andy get all passionate and crazy. They be like, popcorn, popcorn. And yeah, I love my,
Yeah,
my
man.
host Carmen and Patty and them. Yeah, they
That's
used to say
dope,
popcorn
man.
to keep me from getting hysterical.
Yeah, that's dope,
And I
man.
stopped getting cancer until I got cancer just recently when I had my live feed. And most of my live feeds, I do talk about recovery. I talk about sobriety. I talk about faith. And I talk about codependency. And I talk about
Mhm.
life skills. And I also talk about the solution that was given me out of this book.
What how do you handle people, places, and things?
Well, we all know people, places, things. They ain't just people, places, things. We know family are people, places, and things.
Mm.
Families is people, places, things for me.
Mm.
Family. The other stuff. Today, listen, man, let me tell you something, man. I really have faith in God.
Mm.
I believe in God so deeply and it doesn't matter what happens to me. I know I'm going to be facing even worse things, or maybe not. I
Mhm.
don't invest in tomorrow because God is already there chilling.
Mhm.
I don't worry about nothing about yesterday. My faith in God and my belief, I believe in Alcoholics Anonymous so bad, so much. I don't know if you noticed my little tattoo of sobriety I got here. I got two of them.
Mm.
I planted sobriety on my body because that's what keeps me my word. That helps me keep my word that I'm going to make it to my bed tonight without a drink and a drug.
Oh, praise to the Most High. So usually at the end of the episode, I always give people a chance to thank people in their life that helped them get from pain to purpose, man. So who on your list do you feel like you want to thank?
To be honest, I thank God.
Mm.
I just want to thank God. There's no one else to thank but thank God. Because thank God, God is the one that uses everybody. Everybody's an instrument of God.
Mm. Mm.
So whatever they
Mm.
did for me, I'm grateful. But it was His work. His work that
Mm.
did this. Helped me reframe my life, and I'm so grateful. I thank God. I thank Alcoholics Anonymous. I love my sponsor. I'm in a new relationship, dude. First time it's sober and clean. I have never been touched by a woman sober and clean.
Mm. That's
I'm
deep.
58. I'm 58 years
That's
old.
deep,
This
bro.
is the
That's
first
deep,
time
bro.
in a relationship like this, sober and clean, and actually know what a kiss feels like.
How you feel being in a relationship like sober and clean? Like because it's a whole nother world. You know what I'm saying? Like how do you feel dealing with it? How do it feel to go through different emotions, different issues? Because we all have issues in relationship, and now you really gotta let it go through.
I've been
And
dealing,
you really,
and
you know what I'm saying? You
Mike,
know what I'm saying?
I've been dealing with a lot of emotions. Um,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
this is like sometimes I don't even know what I'm doing because
Yeah.
I never done it sober and clean. I was
Mm.
discouraged to have be intimate because I didn't think I could perform. I never performed sober. I never
Mm.
performed clean. I'm 58 years old, so but it came on. All I know
Mm.
is that what I had to do and finalize this is to go through this relationship, to be in this relationship. Man, I don't even hear crickets. Well, I moved, and I don't even
Mm.
hear crickets in my lawn.
Mm.
I give it to him.
All praises,
My
brother.
life and my will is in his hands, and I mean it from the third step. My will and my
Uh-huh.
life is entirely in his hands. I do not make a decision. I ask him permission to be
Yep.
allowed to be with this woman.
Mm.
Because if you don't talk to him, he takes and he removes. He takes and gives. He will
Yeah.
take it. If you act like you love this woman more than him, he gonna take it. Anything you love of this world more than you can love God, he gonna take it from you. I guarantee you, he gonna put a boot on your ass.
Mm. I love the passion, brother. I love the passion. So, Andy, I want to thank you for coming on, brother. I'm gonna keep checking on your TikToks. Also, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have some clips from here, and I'm gonna send you the clips of the
I
highlights of
appreciate
this,
it.
and
Yeah,
then you'll be able to put them on your TikTok and go from there,
that'll be
brother.
awesome. That'll be
All right,
awesome. I really
all right,
appreciate that. I need that. Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
brother, man. So take care, Andy. Thanks for coming on,
Yeah.
brother.
Love you, brother. Thank you. God
All
bless
right,
you.
no doubt, man. No doubt, man. Andy, a cool dude, man. So this was another episode from Pain to Purpose. Next week, most high willing, we're gonna have another guest on. So make sure you guys tune in. And also make sure you guys enjoy the rest of your night tonight and get some rest. Shalom.